Hello YouTube, my name is Plazukas, and today we have a pink update relating to Tectone specifically, you know, speculatively, because no names are really ever exchanged under Pink's Twitter. So I'm making the, assumptions here, which could be wrong, which could make an ass of me. Clearly I could be wrong. And I wanted to go over that really quickly. And then what I'll do is I'll transition from that tweet over to the discourse between this person named Yeats, who keeps on spreading all these tweets about Tectone and Hassan and trying to basically boost up Tectone's profile by helping him. And remember, that Yeet person that Tectone talked about, he's also in his last video, the one that I did, I don't know, a couple days ago, he talked about that person being someone that you can trust and stuff like that. You know, who knows? For all we know, it could be Lul Shinra, it could be LaRue being the Yeet guys. Maybe that's their account, you know, and they're just doing it like shadow accounts and stuff like that, boosting up someone's profile. So if it's an inside job, we don't know either way because we don't. I don't think we know the identity of the Yeet Twitter account. So this is Pink's update here as of 8 hours ago, by the way. And here's an update since I'm seeing a lot of people post misinformation about me right now. Yes, I'm still working with police and it's a slow process. It is. I'm sure it's especially slow in Texas. Yes, there is another girl who had allegations and there were a lot of large CCs involved, but they are still silent. If you look back at some of my videos, you'll see that there were names that were dropped, and they know because it was reported to them, but they're not speaking out. They're not talking about it. And apparently, there's another girl who had allegations. I don't know if this is related to someone that we already do know or if it's somebody different. I haven't been able to figure this part out. This is the second time it's been alluded to that there's potentially another person that is actually put allegations against this individual that is being talked about. I am considering coming out with everything, but seeing what has already happened, I am scared for my safety. I would recommend Pink does not come out with everything. I recommend that Pink try to do things legally. I try to trust the investigations, do all that. Her coming out with everything is probably going to give Tectone the ammo that he really needs in order to discredit her completely. And just the overall discourse right now is not healthy. It's unfortunate, and it may mean that injustices happen potentially, depending on the investigation and where they're at. But I can't speak to that because that's an investigation. But that's the course of action you should take. You should confide in family, stuff like that. Obviously, you should let people know about your struggle, about your trauma. People that you can trust that can carry that forward just in case. But at the same time, you have to be careful with the online discourse because it can go back at you at any time. It can always go back on me at any time. It depends on where the winds shift. You know, if the winds are in one direction and you're in the opposite, it's not looking good. And right now, it does not look good for a lot of victims in the world today. I'm not sure how to go about it as I do have receipts. Okay, well, if you had receipts, hopefully those are being presented by the police in investigative means. Now, receipts don't mean actual evidentiary evidence to the extent that you can convict somebody. They used to mean that you could cancel somebody, but at the same time, that is a different kind of tactic than actually going through an investigative process, which is the one I actually recommend. I am just tired of being slandered and smeared just because I stood up for myself. Yeah, yeah, it sucks, man. It really, really sucks. This discourse that we live in right now. It is just unbelievably impossible if you are a victim, which is why, even though you cannot prevent it, you should do everything you can to try to avoid ever being vulnerable to that point. And this is where I want to transition now to the back and forth between Tectone and Hassan. Hassan calling Tectone a bald pervert. And then these accounts, Hassan's fans think Tectone is a lolicon lameo. So this is obviously taken, and I can't speak to Hassan's actual like Twitch stream as to what he said, but apparently there's the implication of lolicons, of sexual assault. They don't know the lore, but I'm not surprised Hassan once again hasn't researched anything before speaking. Let me be very clear, Tectone. Even if, let's say, they say something's a 2,000-year-old vampire, even if they say someone's 5,000 years old, even if they say this, that, or the other, okay, we know what something looks like. A round face, big eyes, okay? As you get older, your face changes. The shape of it is not as appealing. Your eyes are not as big. All these things change. The implication here, even in anime characters, is that those are predicting a young. Those are projecting a young person. It could be 18, could be 19. It's ambiguous. Okay, fuck the lore. You're a grown adult. You're an alpha trans. You're a testosterone induced person. You know, you're a man. You should know the difference. Come on. Why are you defending it based on the lore, Tectone? All right, so here we go. Hassan thinks Tectone committed sexual assault and implies he likes Lolly. Based on this tweet here, oh no, will anyone do if the bald pervert leaves the Twitch platform for good? Again, I don't know what he said. Let's watch this clip and see if there's any reference to this or that.
It's actually way worse. Free speech warriors, when they see something, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I think Lolly is gross. I know.
Okay.
I know that hurts your feelings.
Okay. I mean, I can't disagree with Hassan here. I do think that I think there's a lot of Lolly stuff going on in the gotcha space right now.
Didn't Tectone do some sexual assault or something?
Okay, so he's reading off his fucking chat. This community shit is so bad. This is what Tectone does too. He'll have somebody in the chatter talk, and then he'll use it to spread misinformation potentially.
I think so, yeah.
Oh yeah, see. You know what, Hassan? You're quite
I haven't really kept up.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, what else?
Dudes are siding with Tectone. Let them, bro. That's, you know, if you want to go down that route, that's the...
Okay, Hassan does not seem like he's engaged there. I mean, I would say that this is a horrible video. Not knowing exactly all the back and forth of Tectone and speaking like that for someone as high profile as Hassan, pretty fucking stupid. This aged fantastically. I'd like to remind everyone that anyone who slightly criticizes Denim's, Hassan, or Fogan will be smeared to oblivion. Not petty insults like fat, ugly, or stupid. They sling around criminal-like terminology like it's nothing. They will get their entire communities to label you as criminals in an attempt to ruin your life. Stop it. All communities do this. On Twitch. On YouTube. On TikTok. Cultist, sheepish, herd of shit. Like, come on. It's happening everywhere. And sure, maybe not to the extent that it's happening with Hassan, with Free Palestine, all this stuff. I get it. I understand all that, and maybe contextually it is different. But at the same time, we've seen deplatforming. We've seen death threats to game developers and much more as well. Going in on most bad faith arguments and any faults they can do in order to complete the character, assassinate the opposition. Well, God, you know, where have you been? Where have you been? Where have you been? This is a strategy that's used everywhere. Sure, let's ban this. Let's get rid of this. Let's make content creators only cover games. Okay? Let's entertainment. Keep it PG. Fine. It's not indicative of freedom of speech. It's not indicative of, you know, being like honest and truthful to anyone's character. But sure, let's make it fake. Fuck it. If this is the alternative, fine. Cry bullying at its finest. Yeah. So there's that back and forth that's happening on Twitter. But obviously, Pink is still adamant. All of her tweets are still up. They have not been deleted yet. And when they are, I'll let you know. Does that mean anything? No. It could mean that the investigation has taken a new step and that they need to hatchet down on all the other stuff so that they can prepare for trial or, charges or whatever else, right? It could also mean that maybe there was intimidation, maybe there's fear, maybe they're just moving on with their life and trying to, just put it in the past, which so many victims have had to do in their life. So many different ways, so many different possibilities, and yet Tectone's still on the platform. So as much as Hassan gets criticized, Tectone should also. Sure. Let's ban them both. My name is Suzuki. Like Scott. Like subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.